Us on the news at 7. My name is Sunday Zaramola. The Ektv State Governor, Mr. Iroyin Lekunrere, has affirmed that his administration will not invest resources in any ministry, agency, or organization that does not make a meaningful contribution to the development of the state and the well-being of its citizens. The governor made this remark while receiving the new leadership of the Iroyin River Basin Development Authority, led by Chief Executive Officer Dr. Olufemi Adekanbi at the Governor's office in Ektv. Government House reporter Yemi Olajutemu brings details of the report.
Governor Ibanji said that the Iroyin River Basin Development Authority has made no impact in the state with the various agriculture and food security efforts embarked upon by his administration. He said that his administration had bypassed the agency by providing alternative routes and partnering serious-minded private investors to make Ektv the food basket of the nation. The governor carpeted the previous leadership of the agency for sidelining Ektv State in their activities, called for a redirection in the leadership and reorientation for their staff. He, however, assured the new leadership that his administration will collaborate with them for the overall development of Ektv State.
Whatever we can do to ensure that we fast-track development, I'm ready to do that on behalf of the board. I'm ready to follow up for you. As long as we are sure that our project not the other states that we need to do before. You have massive assets in the state that are wasting. What brother has in the state is more than enough to drive agri agenda if they have agreed to partner with us. But because they refused, we've carried our burden ourselves. When we spoke about building dormitories, just like we are building 6 dormitories across 6 clusters in the state now. 6 massive. Our loops are back on fact. We have close to 5,000 of them now with 6 clusters working in the state. We have collaborated with you, sir. But we have to carry those costs ourselves. You spoke about irrigation. We have a lot of serious-minded private sector, big farmers, commercial farmers in this state.
Earlier, the managing director of the Iroyin River Basin Development Authority, Dr. Olufemi Adekanbi, unveiled a comprehensive development blueprint aimed at boosting agriculture, infrastructure, and youth empowerment in the state. He assured the governor of a new dawn in the agency, noting that President Bola Tinubu was intentional and strategic in the appointment of right people into the board of the agency.
The governor has expressed his displeasure with the way brothers, that's Iroyin, have been related with the state. Not only even in the state where I come from, my governor too expressed his own side of it. And but it's a new dawn, it's a new thing, and that's why you can see Mr. President appointed people that believe in his vision, believe in that renewal agenda. So we have come with the renewal agenda, and that's why we're here to collaborate with the state to make sure that we have achieved what Mr. President wants us to achieve concerning food security.
He listed various ongoing and proposed interventions across the state, including flood control projects in Ilupeju, Efunalaye, Ado, and Ikere-Ekiti, as well as management of key dams in Aisegba, Oye, Ayede, and Ado-Ekiti, while cultivation and reactivating of hundreds of hectares of farmlands across Ikere, Oye, Ikole, Ire, and Yemero are ongoing. Yemi Olajutemu reporting.
And Governor Lekunrere has noted that the performances of the All Progressive Congress Party were enough premises to predict victory for its candidate in coming election, especially in the next year gubernatorial election in the state. The statement was in response to the date for the governorship election released by Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Ektv and Ondo State next year. Government House reporter Yemi Olajutemu again speaks from here.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had last weekend announced that the gubernatorial election will be held in Ektv on the 20th of June, while that of Osun State will follow in July, as the states were among the 8 states having their gubernatorial polls out of session. The remaining 6 are Anambra State, that will have its election by November this year, Kogi, Imo, Bayelsa, and Edo states. Addressing the people at the Government House, Governor Lekunrere explained that the scorecards of his administration since October 16, 2022, for the pillars his assurance rests on. He noted that over the past 2.5 years, his administration professionals serve the people with sincerity and commitment, ensuring that policies and projects reflect the needs of the citizens.
Hello. There's actually nothing to fear other than to encourage us to continue to thank God for Ektv State. It has been 2.5, close to 3 years of good news. And when there's a contestation between light and darkness, let's see now. And God's project, I got an assignment, and the God that has sent me is more than able.
Governor Ibanji also called on the people of Ektv State to remain calm and maintain peace as the political season unfolds, describing his leadership as a divine mission aimed at fast-tracking development and delivering good governance to all parts of the state. He further expressed optimism that the people of Ekiti will reward the APC for its developmental strides, urging political players to conduct themselves in line with democratic principles. The governor emphasized that politics should be about the people's welfare and the overall growth of the state rather than personal interest. Governor Ibanji warned against actions that could lead to unrest and violence, stressing that his administration will not condone any activity capable of destabilizing any part of the state. He assured residents of his continued commitment to peace, development, and inclusive governance. Yemi Olajutemu reporting.
The Ektv State government has promised to continue to partner relevant federal agencies with the aim of putting various measures in place to mitigate effects of flooding in the state. The State Deputy Governor, Ektv, gave the promise during the stakeholder engagement on National Disaster Preparedness and Response Campaign 2025 held at the Lady Gibo Government House in Ado-Ekiti. BSS reporter Adedayo Adeleye has more on the story.
The Stakeholders Forum with the theme Strengthening Resilience, Enhancing Preparedness and Response and royal fathers, opinion leaders, voluntary organizations, among others in attendance. Okinlo Afuye appreciated NEMA for the initiative and collaborative efforts to avert flooding. According to the Deputy Governor, the state government had done a lot to avert flooding through the dredging of waterways in high-risk zones across the state, evacuation of waste from water channels, among others.
My special appeal goes to all the local government and LCJ chairmen to move around their various LCJs and local governments and take proactive measures in areas that are likely to be affected by flood in their respective local government and LCJ to prevent the occurrences. I advise our chairmen to consider improved drainage system, regularly clear gutters, canals, and drainage paths to ensure water flow freely.
Okinlo Afuye urged citizens to strictly adhere to the state environmental laws by avoiding indiscriminate dumping of waste and erecting structures on water banks and flood-prone areas. In his remarks, the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Zubaida Umar, represented by Mr. Fred Anuzim, said that proper waste disposal and flood preparedness were crucial for community well-being and environmental health. He explained that the engagement was to sensitize and create awareness among the people about the expected heavy rainfall predicted by NIMET that listed Ekiti among the states likely to experience heavy rainfall and potential flooding this year.
This downscaling, therefore, is government's approach through NEMA to sensitize the general public using all available medium to reach communities at risk of 2025 flood predictions. It is our hope that this exercise will achieve the purpose it was meant for, especially for people of Ekiti State and the communities identified by this prediction.
The General Manager of SEMA, Mr. Oludare Ashaolu, appreciated NEMA for the initiative and commended the State Governor, Mr. Biodun Yebanji, for approving funds for the dredging of waterways in high-risk areas across the state.
Flood can destroy crops, leading to food shortages and economic losses. This stakeholders meeting cannot be better organized any other time than now.
There were remarks from the Chairman, Council of Traditional Rulers and the Olojudo of Ado-Ekiti, Oba Iroyin Lekunrere, Commissioner for Information, Chief Taiwo Latubosun, representatives of Nigerian Immigration Services, Nigerian Police Force, Red Cross, fire services, among others. Adedayo Adele reporting.
The Chief of Staff to Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Niyi Adebayo, has promised that the government will do its best to make the state clean and improve the environment through recycling waste and converting them into useful materials. He made the promise during a visit to the Ekiti State Waste Management Authority complex, where samples are being collected. BSS reporter Yetunde Oloye completes the story.
Mr. Adebayo commended the administration of Governor Yebanji for ensuring that the environment is safe for residents of the state.
There's been a movement in the last 30, 40 years about living clean and trying to ensure that we all abide by the ethos of the green economy. And I think what we're seeing today.
The Commissioner, Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, Erolito Sinyaluko, and Special Advisor to the Governor on State Capital Development Authority, Mr. Tade Aluko, appreciated the Governor for the massive investment in the sector.
Efforts. We can make Ekiti State a media for smart, sustainable waste management.
If we are able to have the adequate results from this effort now, we will know whether it is the policy that the government will, issue out to minimize the waste.
During a tour to the dump site, the technical advisor to the governor on green economic and ecological matters and new MAP project coordinator, Dr. Akinyemi Akinyuga, analyzed how waste were generated and converted. In his remarks, the project coordinator, UN Habitat for Southern Nigeria, and technical advisor, Geographic Information System and Land Management, Mr. Akintobi Olusomi, said that the purpose of the program was to monitor waste from the disposal level in order to have total data for easier recycling.
This YCT is all about monitoring waste from the source where it's generated to the disposal level. And this is going to help a lot in making a kind of sensible investment in waste management.
Also, the project operationalization coordinator of Waste YCT2 survey, Mr. Olamide Olajide, explained that the initiative would help to account for waste generated, its composition, and the major problem, as well as to help the government to make an informed policy concerning waste management.
This survey, we can, with a logical and empirical statement, we can say what we are generating, the composition of what we are generating, and how it impacts our daily life. And it will be a tool that will help the government to definitely make an informed policy.
Representatives from all health-related MDAs in the state were present at the program. Yetunde Oloye reporting.
Now we go on a short break. We'll be back for the rest of the bulletin. Stay tuned.
Beautiful. It's your name. Wonderful is what you are to me. Eba mi kira fún mama mi. Orisha mi ja o. Kò sí láé.
Every mom.
Welcome back. Street sweepers in Ekiti State have expressed their gratitude to the state government following a recent salary increase. The sweepers who were at the state management office in Abdul sang different songs to show their gratitude to the state governor. They described him as a God-sent leader, noting that their wages had been increased 3 times since he assumed office. The sweepers promised their continued support to the governor. In his response, the Director General of the State Waste Management Agency, Mr. Sugami Onipede, thanked the sweepers for the gesture and promised them that Governor Yebanji will continue to prioritize their welfare. The Nigerian Union of Teachers, Emure local government, has joined
from 12,000 naira to 35,000, which is highly unprecedented. So I'm sure these people are extremely happy. They are grateful to God and they are grateful to Mr. Governor for what he has done to them. And my charge to my people is to ensure that we pay Oga back by doing our job effectively.
The Nigerian Union of Teachers Iroyin local government has joined the train of people endorsing Governor Biodun Oyèbánjí for the second time in office. Members of the union noted that the achievement of the governor in the education sector within the last 2 years necessitated this need to support the second term bid. BSS reporter Abimbola Adeboyega completes the story.
The members of the union moved from the palace of Elemure to various strategic places in the community, chanting songs to show their support for the second-term agenda of Governor Oyèbánjí. After the walk, the members of the union gathered at the town hall to endorse the governor.
Retired teachers of Iroyin local government, I have a move. I'm able governor, Excellency Biodun Oyèbánjí, to continue till 2030.
The education secretary of the local government, Mr. Ayola Oluwasomi, described Governor Oyèbánjí as a visionary and teacher-friendly governor whose welfareism was second to none.
Mr. Government is matching its words with action. Over 1,005 teachers were employed across the state. Governor Biodun Oyèbánjí elevated the status of primary school teachers, paving the way for them to rise up to grade level 16.
Speaking in the same vein, the NUT chairman, Mr. Asake Adesoji, and the option chairman, Mr. Ayodele Olarewaju, itemized the achievement of the present administration to include regular payment of salaries and outstanding leave bonuses, as well as payment of pension to retirees.
His Excellency has given approval for the employment of sizable number of teachers into the state public primary and secondary schools to boost our educational sectors and provide qualitative education to our future leaders.
Construction and completion of an abandoned project by the previous administration. Promotion of workers as at wages without prejudice.
The chairman of the State Universal Basic Education Board, Professor Femi Akinwumi, assured the teachers of more dividends of democracy, saying no stone will be left unturned towards improving their living standard.
This is the first time that we will see a governor who has the passion of teachers. So it's so passionate, and that's the reason why you teachers, we have decided that this man right deserves a second term. I see that's the reason why we have decided that this man deserves a second term, isn't it?
Abimbola Adeboyega reporting.
The Ektv State House of Assembly has reaffirmed its commitment to quality legislative duties for the benefit of the people of Ektv State. The Chairman House Committee on Media, Mr. Babatunde Oke, made the affirmation during the press conference to mark the 7th Assembly second year anniversary. BSS reporter Bukola Adebukola completes the story.
Mr. Oke, joined by other committee members, said it has been 2 years of service with diligence and dedication to Ektv State. He noted that after their inauguration on June 6, 2023, they adopted legislative agenda for smooth operation.
That the 7th Assembly has enjoyed a cordial working relationship with the other arms of government in the state, while the principle of separation of powers has guided the leadership over the last 24 months. There has been substantial cooperation and collaboration among the legislature, the executive and the judiciary to fast-track the restoration of our values and the development of the state. The House of Assembly has been on the same page with the executive in implementation of the 6 pillars of Governor Biodun Oyèbánjí's administration.
Mr. Oke reeled out the Assembly achievement in the area of base passage, constituency engagement, and others.
This assembly has facilitated the activation of a functional car and housing loans facility for staff. In actualization of this, the Staff Loans Board has actualized the disbursement and presentation of checks of over 40 million naira car and housing loan to over 120 beneficiaries in the legislative service. The approval of a consolidated legislative salary structure (CONLES) for the assembly workforce by the governor, Governor Biodun Abayomi Oyebanji.
Other members, including Mr. Idowu Odebumi, Mr. Yodeji Adegbite, Mr. Babatunde Idowu, Mr. Latif Akanle, and Mr. Babatunde Fawekun, expressed the readiness of the assembly for quality representation. Bukola Adebukola reporting.
The Ektv State Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Mr. Ebenezer Boluwade, has promised livestock farmers in the state of government continued support for improved productivity and commercialization to enhance their businesses. He made the promise while declaring open a 3-day training for butchers and processors in Ektv State. Let's join Yetunde Oloye for more on the report.
Mr. Boluwade said that the training program was to equip butchers and processors with the knowledge and skills required to improve public health, food security, and build resilience of the operators of the beef value chain in the state.
This training is just to build upon what the enterprise has started. The enterprise have been doing training for farmers, livestock farmers, but the handling process has to be taken care of. So when the meat gets to, and when the cow or the beef or the sheep and all that, when they get to the barbatio, there are process of handling so that the food you are taking can be well preserved and you can have a healthy meat.
The commissioner also assured that the enterprise will not relent at ensuring a better life for the farmers. In his opening address, the permanent secretary in the ministry, Mr. Ebenezer Ojo, said that the ministry was committed to ensuring the safety and quality of livestock products and promoting best practices in the industry.
Programs is meant for the butchers in the state to know the ways and manner how to handle the butchering and how to maintain sanity and the sanitary aspect of our meat, especially in the abattoirs area. That is why the state government deemed it to encourage all farmers in the state to come together and do this type of training.
The state project coordinator, Ektv State Enterprise, Mr. Yinka Adedipe, sensitized the butchers and processors on how to make use of the ultra-modern abattoir.
There is need for us to begin to sensitize and make sure that we carry the drivers of this particular value chain, that is the beef value chain, we carry them along. We have done the need assessment and they said they need an ultra-modern abattoir. But even at that, we need to be working hand in hand.
The trainees applauded the government for the innovation.
Thank you for identifying with us, and we clearly understand that we are trying to add value to our businesses.
Enterprise is a World Bank project executed across 20 Nigerian states in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Abuja, and the State Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Yetunde Oloye reporting.
The Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria has suspended its strike, which started on Monday. JUSUN announced a suspension in a communique issued after its meeting with the representative of the Chief Judge of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun. The communique signed by all stakeholders present said this was after long deliberations on issues that led to the declaration of the industrial action by the union. And on the foreign scene, the Dutch government has collapsed after the far-right party for freedom, PVV, withdrew from the ruling coalition. The party leader, Geert Wilders, made the announcement citing disagreements over asylum policy. The move dismantles what had been the most right-leaning government in Dutch history and throws the country's politics into turmoil. Prime Minister Dick Schoof administration now holds just 51 of the 150 seats in the parliament. And with our foreign news, we conclude today's news at 7. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Ẹ̀kálẹ́ ẹ̀sìnkú iṣẹ́ òní ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìròyìn lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ fún ti àṣálẹ́ yìí. Ìyábọ̀ Ọlájídé ni oníròyìn yìí. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí ti sọ wípé ìṣèjọba òun kò ní fi àkókò àti ọ̀rọ̀ ṣòfò lórí iléeṣẹ́ ẹ̀ka àti àjọ iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba kankan tí kò bá ti ní ipa rere èyí tí ó ń kó sọ̀rọ̀ ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ yìí àti àwọn olùgbé rẹ̀. Gómìnà sọ̀rọ̀ náà nígbà tó ń gbàlejò àwọn adarí tuntun fún àjọ ìdàgbàsókè ìṣẹ́dọ̀ Benin Ọ̀wẹ́nà lábẹ́ adarí rẹ̀ ọ̀mọ̀wé Olúfẹ́mi Adékànbí lọ́fíìsì gómìnà nílùú Adó Èkìtì. Gómìnà Oyèbánjí ẹni tó sọ pé àjọ ìdàgbàsókè ìṣẹ́dọ̀ Benin Ọ̀wẹ́nà ni kò ní ipa kankan tí ó kó lọ́rọ̀ ìdàgbàsókè ìpínlẹ̀ yìí pẹ̀lú onírúurú ìgbésẹ̀ létò ọ̀gbìn àti ìpèsè oúnjẹ tí ìṣèjọba òun gùn lé. Gómìnà fi àdéhùn hàn pẹ̀lú bí àjọ òun ti ṣe fẹ́rẹ̀ẹ́ dabarú ìrètí ìjọba lórí ètò àkùrọ̀ tí ó ń ṣe àtàwọn ètò mìíràn. Ó sọ wípé ìjọba ló ti pa àjọ òun tì nípa wíwọ́rọ̀ ọ̀pọ̀ fi ṣàdá láti fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn àjọ olùdókòwò aládàáni tó ní nǹkan ṣe láti jẹ́ kí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì di ibùdó oúnjẹ fún orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Lọ́nà mìíràn, gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí ti sọ pé àwọn iṣẹ́ tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress APC ti ṣe ti tó ohun tí yóò mú kí àwọn òdíje rẹ̀ nínú ètò ìdìbò tó ń bọ̀ ó jáwé olúborí pàápàá nínú ètò ìdìbò sípò gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni gómìnà sọ ní ìfèsì sí ọjọ́ tí ètò ìdìbò gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì àti Ọ̀ṣun yóò wáyé ní ọdún tó ń bọ̀. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Yẹmí Ọlájùtẹ̀mù mábọ̀wá wípé bí àjọ INEC ṣe kéde àkókò tí ètò ìdìbò gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì yóò wáyé, gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí ti fi ìgbàgbọ́ hàn pé àwọn àṣọrí òun yóò sọ̀rọ̀ gbé òun lẹ́yìn lákòókò ètò ìdìbò abẹ́lé àti ètò ìdìbò náà. Nígbà tó ń bá àwọn èèyàn sọ̀rọ̀ nílé ìjọba nílùú Adó Èkìtì, gómìnà sọ wípé iṣẹ́ tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ṣe káàkiri ẹ̀ka gbogbo tó ìpìlẹ̀ fún ìlọsíwájú ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Ó ní láti nǹkan bíi ọdún méjì sẹ́yìn ìṣèjọba òun ti ń sin àwọn èèyàn pẹ̀lú òótọ́ inú àti ìfarajì nírí dájú pé àwọn àkànṣe iṣẹ́ bá ìpòǹgbẹ àwọn èèyàn pàdé. lọ́nà mìíràn ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti ṣèlérí láti tẹ̀síwájú àti fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tí ó yẹ pẹ̀lú àfojúsùn ṣíṣe àwọn ètò oríṣiríṣi bí àdínkù yóò ṣe bá ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ pàjáwìrì nípínlẹ̀ yìí. Igbákejì gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì Ọ̀kínlúà Múnísádé Àfúyẹ́ ló ṣèlérí ọ̀rọ̀ náà lásìkò ètò ìfikùnlukùn kan pẹ̀lú àwọn èèkàn lórí ìmúrasílẹ̀ àti gbígbé ìgbésẹ̀ láti dènà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ pàjáwìrì lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí fún ti ọdún 2025 èyí tí wọ́n ṣe ní gbọ̀ngàn lẹ́díjíbówú nílé ìjọba Àdó. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Adédayọ̀ Adélẹ́yẹ mábọ̀wá wípé Ọ̀kínlúà Àfúyẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn àjọ NEMA fún ètò náà àti akitiyan ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ láti pinwọ́ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ omíyalé àti láti dáhùn sí àwọn ìpè bíi òjòjò ṣe bà dúkìá tí ó bàjẹ́ nípínlẹ̀ yìí fún tí wọ́n sì mú ìrọ̀rùn bá àwọn èèyàn gẹ́gẹ́ bí àjọ NIMET ti ṣe sọ àsọtẹ́lẹ̀ rẹ̀. Olórí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ọba fún gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Níyì Adébáyọ̀ ti ṣèlérí pé ìjọba yóò sapá rẹ̀ láti pé ìpínlẹ̀ yìí mọ́ tónítóní àti láti má lékún bá àyíká nípasẹ̀ ṣíṣe àrídájú àwọn pàǹtí fún ohun èlò tó nítumọ̀. Ó ṣèlérí ọ̀rọ̀ náà lásìkò àbẹ̀wò kan tó ṣe sí oríkò àjọ kólẹ̀kódọ̀tí ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì níbi tí wọ́n ti ń gba àyẹ̀wò. Oníròyìn wa Yétúndé Olóyè mábọ̀ ìròyìn wá pé Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Adébáyọ̀ kan sára sí ìṣèjọba gómìnà Oyèbánjí fún bí ó ṣe rí dájú pé ààbò wà fún àyíká fáwọn olùgbé ìpínlẹ̀ yìí. Ó gba àwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ yìí níyànjú láti gbé ìwà ìmọ́tótó wọ̀. Alákòóso níléeṣẹ́ ètò àyíká àti àlùmọ́ọ́nì ilẹ̀ arábìnrin Tósìn Àlùkò Adéṣàfẹ́ àti olùdámọ̀ràn pàtàkì fún gómìnà fọ́rọ̀ ìdàgbàsókè onílù ìpínlẹ̀ yìí Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Tádé Àlùkò mọrírì gómìnà fún bí ó ti náwó tó jọjú sí ẹ̀ka náà. Lákòókò ètò àbẹ̀wò sí oríkò ìdalẹ̀nù sí ọ̀hún olùdámọ̀ràn pàtàkì fọ́rọ̀ ajé àti ọ̀rọ̀ ojú ọjọ́ títún ṣe alámòjútó àkànṣe ètò NUMAP dókítà Akínyẹmí Akínyùgà yóò nàná bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń pa ìdọ̀tí tí wọ́n sì ń mú àyípadà bá a. Àwọn tó ń gba ilẹ̀ ojú pópó ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti fi ẹ̀mí ìmoore wọn hàn sí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ yìí lẹ́yìn àlékún tó bá owó oṣù wọn láìpẹ́ yìí. Àwọn èèyàn ọ̀hún tó wá sí ọ́fíìsì àjọ kólẹ̀kódọ̀tí nílùú Àdó kọ oríṣiríṣi orin láti fífi ẹ̀mí ìmoore wọn hàn sí gómìnà. Wọ́n júwe rẹ̀ bí adarí tí Ọlọ́run rán níbi wọ́n ti ṣàlàyé pé owó oṣù wọn ní àfikún ti bá nígbà mẹ́ta ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ látìgbà tí gómìnà ti dé orí àlééfà. Àwọn tó ń gba ilẹ̀ ojú pópó ọ̀hún ṣèlérí àtìlẹ́yìn wọn fún gómìnà. Nígbà tí ó ń fèsì adarí àgbà àjọ kólẹ̀kódọ̀tí lẹ́kìtì Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Súnkànmí Onípẹ̀dé dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó ń gba ilẹ̀ ọ̀hún fún inú rẹ̀ wọn òun náà tó sì ṣèlérí fún wọn pé gómìnà Oyèbánjí yóò tẹ̀síwájú láti fi ògiri ọwọ́ mọ́rọ̀ ìgbáyégbádùn wọn. Ẹgbẹ́ àwọn olùkọ́ ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà níjọba ìbílẹ̀ Èmùrè náà ti darapọ̀ mọ́ ikọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tó ń fi òǹtẹ̀ lu sáà kejì gómìnà Bíọ́dún Oyèbánjí. Àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún ṣe àlàyé pé àwọn àṣeyọrí gómìnà lẹ́ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ láàrin ọdún méjì ló ṣokùnfà ìdí tí wọ́n fi ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn fún èròǹgbà sáà kejì náà. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Abímbọ́lá Adébíyọ̀gá bábọ̀ wá wípé àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún ni ó gbéra láti ààfin Lémùrè lọ sí àwọn ibi tí ó ṣe pàtàkì lágbègbè náà níbi wọ́n ṣe kọ oríṣiríṣi orin lọ́kọ̀ọ́jọ̀kan láti fi àtìlẹ́yìn wọn hàn fún ìṣèjọba gómìnà Oyèbánjí lẹ́lẹ́kejì. Lẹ́yìn ìrìn ọ̀hún ni àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ náà péjú pésẹ̀ sí gbọ̀ngàn ìlú náà láti fọwọ́ sí ìṣèjọba gómìnà lẹ́ẹ̀kejì. Akọ̀wé lẹ́ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ níjọba ìbílẹ̀ náà Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ayọ̀lá Olúwaṣọ̀mí ṣe àpèjúwe gómìnà Oyèbánjí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tí ó ní àfojúsùn tí ó sì jẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ àwọn olùkọ́. Ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti ṣe àtẹnumọ́ ìfarajì rẹ̀ òfétò òfin tó kújú owó fún àǹfààní àwọn olùgbé. Alága ìgbìmọ̀ tẹ̀kótó ilé aṣòfin ọ̀hún fétò ìròyìn Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Babátúndé Ọ̀kẹ́ ló sọ̀rọ̀ náà lásìkò ìpàdé àwọn oníròyìn láti sàmì sí àjọ̀dún ọdún kejì ilé aṣòfin kejì ọ̀hún. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Bùkọ́lá Adébùkọ́lá múròyìn náà wá ká gbọ́ àbọ̀ rẹ̀.
Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ọ̀kẹ́ táwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ yòókù darapọ̀ mọ́ sọ wípé ó jẹ́ ọdún méjì tó ní àṣeyọrí àti àkóyawọ́ lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ fún ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì. Ó wòye wípé ní kété tí wọ́n ṣàgbékalẹ̀ wọn lọ́jọ́ kẹfà oṣù kẹfà ọdún 2023 ni wọ́n ti ṣe àgbékalẹ̀ ìlànà ètò ilé aṣòfin láti mú kí iṣẹ́ wọn kó lè yá kíákíá láì ní ìdènà. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ọ̀kẹ́ mẹ́nubà àṣeyọrí ilé aṣòfin ọ̀hún lọ́lọ́kan òjọ̀kan nípa àbádòfin àwọn ètò lẹ́kùn ìdìbò kálukú wọn àti àwọn ètò lóríṣiríṣi. Àwọn ọmọ ìgbìmọ̀ tó kù bíi ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ìdòwú Ọ̀dẹ́bùnmi, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ayọ̀dèjì Adégbìtẹ́, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Lateef Àkànlé, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Babátúndé Ìdòwú àti Babátúndé Fáwẹ̀kùn ṣàrídájú ìgbáradì ilé aṣòfin náà láti jẹ́ aṣojú rere. Bùkọ́lá Adébùkọ́lá ló ń jábọ̀ ìròyìn.
Kọmíṣánná fẹ́tò ọ̀gbìn àti ìpèsè oúnjẹ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ebenezer Bolúwadé ti ṣe ìlérí àtìlẹ́yìn ìjọba fáwọn àgbẹ̀ olóhùn ọ̀sìn abẹ̀mí láti mú àgbéga bá ètò òṣìṣẹ́ àti okòwò àdáńlá láti lè mú kí ètò okòwò wọn gbèrú sí i. Ó ṣèlérí ọ̀rọ̀ náà nígbà tí ó ṣíde ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọlọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta fáwọn alápàtà àti àwọn tí ó mú àyípadà bá ẹran nípínlẹ̀ Èkìtì. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Yẹmí Ọlájútẹ̀mù Mábọ̀wá wípé Yétúndé Olóyè Mábọ̀wá wípé ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bolúwadé sọ pé ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀hún ni ó wà láti fún àwọn alápàtà àti àwọn tó mú àyípadà bá ẹran ní ìmọ̀ tí wọ́n nílò láti mú àgbéga bá ètò ìlera ará ìlú, ìpèsè oúnjẹ àti láti mú òkun bá ètò òṣìṣẹ́ àwọn tí ó ń ta ẹran nípínlẹ̀ yìí. Alákòóso ọ̀hún tún fi ìdánilójú hàn fún wọn pé ètò helpress ni kò ní tẹ̀tì láti dájú pé ayé bẹ́sùkẹ́ fáwọn ẹgbẹ́ náà. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣíde rẹ̀, akọ̀wé àgbà iléeṣẹ́ náà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Ebenezer Òjó sọ pé iléeṣẹ́ ọ̀hún ló nífarajì láti dájú pé ààbò wà tí wọ́n sì pèsè àwọn nǹkan ọ̀sìn tó dára àti láti ṣègbélárugẹ ìlànà tó dúró déédéé iléeṣẹ́ ọ̀hún. Alábòjútó àkànṣe ètò náà lẹ́kìtì ọ̀gbẹ́ni Yínká Adédìpẹ̀sọ ṣe ètò ìlanilọ́yẹ̀ fáwọn alápàtà àti àwọn tí ó máa ń mú àyípadà bá a lórí ọ̀nà láti lo ibi ìgbàlódé tí wọ́n fẹ́ kọ́ fún àwọn alápàtà dáradára. Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tiẹ̀, aṣojú ẹgbẹ́ àwọn ọlọ́sìn ẹdìyẹ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Olúwaṣetìmí Alóńgẹ́ yóò bo ìjọba fún àǹfààní tó fún àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ náà láti jẹ́ kí okòwò wọn gbèrú sí i. Àwọn tí wọ́n dá lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀hún kò sára sí ìjọba fún ìgbésẹ̀ náà. Ètò Express ló jẹ́ àkànṣe ètò báńkì àgbáyé èyí tí wọ́n ṣe káàkiri 20 ìpínlẹ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà nífọwọ́kọ́ pẹ̀lú iléeṣẹ́ fẹ́tò ọ̀gbìn àti ìpèsè oúnjẹ ìjọba àpapọ̀ Àbújá àti iléeṣẹ́ fún ètò ọ̀gbìn àti ìpèsè oúnjẹ ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress APC nílẹ̀ yìí ti sọ pé kò sóòótọ́ nu ìròyìn kan èyí tó tàn káàkiri pé wọ́n ti fún àwọn ọmọ ilégbìmọ̀ aṣòfin ilẹ̀ yìí ní àǹfààní àti padà díje láì ní alátakò tí wọ́n sì pé irú ìròyìn bẹ́ẹ̀ pé èké. Àtẹ̀jáde kan tí alukoro akọ̀wé ẹgbẹ́ náà Felix Mọ́kà fi léde sọ pé ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC rọ àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú ọ̀hún àtàwọn ará ìlú láti fetí palagi irú ìròyìn bẹ́ẹ̀. Ó wá ṣèkìlọ̀ pé ọ̀rọ̀ aṣinilọ́nà ọ̀hún tí wọ́n ń gbé káàkiri náà ló jẹ́ jáde látọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ọ̀bàyéjẹ́ kan tó gbìyànjú láti ṣì àwọn ará ìlú lọ́nà àti láti dá họ̀họ̀ sílẹ̀ nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú náà. Àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ ẹ̀ka ètò ìdájọ́ nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà ti mú àsùrọ̀bá ìwà ìyanṣẹ́lódì èyí tí wọ́n gùn lé lánàá. Ẹgbẹ́ dùsùn ló kéde mímú àsùrọ̀bá ìyanṣẹ́lódì wọn náà nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tí wọ́n fi léde lópin ètò ìpàdé rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn aṣojú adájọ́ àgbà ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà onídàájọ́ Kudirat Kékeré Ẹkùn. Àtẹ̀jáde ọ̀hún tí gbogbo àwọn èèkàn tó péjú síbi ìpàdé náà buwọ́lù ló wáyé lópin ìjíròrò èyí tí wọ́n fi ọ̀pọ̀ wákàtí ṣe lórí ọ̀rọ̀ náà, èyí tó yọrí sí bí ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún ti ṣe wọ́gi lé ìwà ìyanṣẹ́lódì náà. Ìjọba ilẹ̀ Dutch ló ti dojúrú báyìí o ní ẹ̀yìn ìgbà tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Far Right Party for Freedom àti ẹgbẹ́ PVV yọwọ́ kúrò nínú ìgbésẹ̀ ìdarapọ̀ pẹ̀lú ìjọba tó wà lórí àlééfà. Adarí ẹgbẹ́ ọ̀hún Great Wida sọ ọ̀rọ̀ náà jáde níbi ó ti tọ́ka sí èdè àìyedè lórí ètò ibi ààbò. Ìṣàkóso olóòtú ìjọba Dick Scoff ló wà ní ìjókòó mọ́kànléláàádọ́ta péré nínú 150 ìjókòó ilé aṣòfin náà. Ìròyìn wa fún ti àṣálẹ́ yìí kò ní jù báyìí lọ lọ́la ní kẹ́ darapọ̀ wá nígbà tí a mú àkọ́tún ìròyìn mìíràn wá fún yín títí ìgbà náà ire o.